All right, so we're going to do a couple solving quadratic equations, and they're special ones because the answers won't turn out to be real. There are some imaginary parts. So when there's no middle term here, x squared plus 4 equals 0, we can solve algebraically. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides and square root. So the answer is plus or minus square root of negative 4. What I want to do is break that down a little bit, and I can write that as square root of 4 and square root of negative 1. And the reason I want to break it down is 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, so I can do that, and I know the square root of 4 is 2, and I know the square root of negative 1 is I. So it allows me to simplify to plus or minus 2i. Here we can try to factor 3x and x, 5 and 1, but if I put a 5 and 1 in, the signs have to match. They both have to be negative, and it doesn't FOIL out, it doesn't work. So factoring, it's unfactorable. When something's unfactorable, we have to use the quadratic formula in order to solve, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we end up with, underneath the radical, we end up with 4 minus 60, which is square root of negative 56. So when we simplify, we end up with a negative under the square root. That means that both of our answers are going to be imaginary and not real. So what I want to do in order to simplify is, if it's all over 6, I can break this up and do 2 over 6 plus or minus square root of negative 56 over 6. And I can reduce those fractions, so 2/6 would be 1/3. And square root of 56, we can break that into let's see, divisible, is it divisible by 4? Yeah, I think it's 4 and 14. So I'm going to break it into square root of 4, square root of 14, and square root of negative 1 over 6. So square root of 4 we know is 2, square root of negative 1 is I, square root of 14 can't break down anymore, so we'll leave it like that. And then I can reduce my 2/6. It's 1/3, so it's I square root of 14 over 3.